Where's that baby? There she is.
Everyone pretty much knows my story. They watched it here. Some even witnessed it firsthand. They seen the struggles that I faced, the depression that I went through, the hell, addictions, and demons that I had to face and remove. My story is just one of many stories. There are more out there. Fathers go through this all the time. This is the dark side of fatherhood, where your stories matter. Tonight's episode of The Dark Side of Fatherhood is brought to you in part by Reina XO Vodka, Peach Mango, the real taste of paradise. Let me tell you a little story about Reina. Reina had an appearance that was absolutely enchanting. And then I had an opportunity to get a little closer to Reina. Reina was hot, as if somebody pulled her right out of fire, but cool, just like the winter. It was at that moment I realized that I needed Reina. Reina was everything. She was blissful, peaceful. She was like paradise. Reina XO Vodka, the taste of paradise. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another special edition of Dark Side of Fatherhood. Of course, I'm your host, Nikashawan Yashala. Today's guest we got coming on, this is a very, very special episode because it is the first episode where we have a sister come on. This also is from a different perspective. Now, on the dark side of fatherhood, we focus on the father's struggles, but we decided to take it in another direction this particular time. What we wanted to do was interview someone from the lens of the child. You understand? So these situations happen, but this is the first time we get it from the lens of the child. We're going to continue to do this. This sister here I've known for quite a while. And I will bring her in a few minutes, but I just wanted to say thank you to all the supporters and thank you to the people who've been emailing and supporting this cause and this podcast and this show in its totality. And we will keep this thing going. So my guest tonight is Lueveda La Lad. I'm not making that up. That's not a joke. All right, let me bring her in. All right. Hey, what's happening, sister? What's
Hi,
going on?
how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Listen, I didn't do the entire introduction yet because I didn't want to do you a disservice. But I wanted you to introduce yourself to the people so that way they get a thorough understanding of who you are.
Okay. My name is Lueveda La Lad. I'm a mom of three, entrepreneur, um, and I got a lot of experience with good, bad, and ugly.
So we have Lueveda La Lad with us. Like I said, that's not a gimmick. The name,
That's
because I
really
don't
my
want.
name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because people are going to hear that and they're going to email me like, "Is that really her name?" Like, yeah, that's her name for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want to say thank you again for coming on. And again, what I was telling my viewers is you are the first sister to come on here. I put up a post last week or about a week and a half, and you responded to the call. And what's interesting here is that, like I said before, this is coming from the lens of the child, the daughter. Usually we get the perspective from the dad, but this is the first time we ever had the experience from another set of eyes. So you are a mom. How many children do you have?
I have three, 25, 20, and 15.
You got a 25-year-old?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I've been told I look 27, so to have a 25-year-old is shocking for most people.
it is. I had a brother up here told me he had a 20-year-old. I hit him with that Don Cheadle, that Kevin Hart. I got it now. It's like become a tradition that I do that every time now. But
That
yeah,
damn.
damn. The oldest, your oldest is that's your son? Or your,
Yes, I have two boys and a girl. My oldest, the 25-year-old is a boy, 20-year-old is the girl, 15-year-old is the boy.
okay, I got you. And what age did you become a mother? Like, how old were you when you first became a mom?
19.
Oh, 19. What were
So
the
grown, but not grown, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's okay. A lot of people think it's too young, but that's all right. I guess that's up to interpretation and perspective. But what was the initial feeling you got when you found out that you was about to be a mom? Were you nervous? Were you ready to go?
I was nervous because I was very well established. I had my own everything. I didn't
Yeah.
have a car, but I had my own apartment. I had my own life. I had my own job. And the gentleman I had a baby with, he wasn't a stranger. I knew him since fourth grade. So we had talked about having a baby and we was engaged to be married. So we was thinking that the wedding was going to happen first, but the baby happened
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So I was nervous, and excited at the same time.
Okay. It bees like that. So what's your background? What's your story? You grew up with both parents?
I can kind of say that biologically, no, but I did grow up with two parents. My biological father is Dominican, but my dad that raised me, he's from Guyana.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So what was that like? Because a lot of people don't get to experience two-parent households, and I know that somebody would say, "Oh, that's a stepdad," but it's not the same. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not, but in the same right, you can't take that away from that man,
Yeah.
because he's doing the job anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's not a knock on your actual father or nothing like that, or fathers, period. But this brother here was there. So what was that like growing up in a two-parent household?
No one can say that that's not my father. I told my biological father in
Uh,
front of him, that's my father. He raised me since I was one, and there's a
yeah.
little running joke with me and my sister because I tell her he was my dad before he was yours because
Mhm.
she came 4 years after.
Mhm.
He does have a biological child, but I was his child for the first 4 years,
Right.
so I didn't feel any difference with understanding what my mom let me know about having a biological father, who he was. She didn't lie to me. She didn't bash him or anything like that. It's just that I knew of my biological father, but I knew I had a dad in the house. And it was good because he taught me, it's amazing to know that he taught me how to be a lady,
Mm.
more so than my mom did. So to have a
Wow.
man that's not biologically my father, but definitely spiritually, emotionally, and physically my father, he taught me the power of being a woman and how to not abuse that power.
Wow. That's amazing. Do you want to kind of elaborate on how he did that,
Um,
if you can?
Coming from Patterson,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that's a rough place.
Yes, I know.
But to grow up in such a rough place and be able to experience like etiquette classes
Uh,
or just time with him personally where he is showing us how a table should be set. I actually my table is set like that now. Dinner fork, salad fork, and these are the kind of things that he put in me and my sister, how to sit up straight, not put our elbows on the table, and just a lot of ladylike qualities, um, how to be gentle but strong. He also let me know, being that he's from Guyana, that his mom had a history of being in the, I want to say, traditional spiritual practices, because I don't want to be, too sensitive for people. But he has that in his upbringing, and he
right.
brought it to me and said, "Listen, you need to know who you are. You bring life. You are the epitome of what God is because you bring." man and woman into this world.
Hmm.
So you gotta be careful with how you treat people because of your power, and just know that you don't have to be afraid of that. You don't have to be afraid of your woman's intuition, or you don't have to be afraid to be strong but soft at the same time. Like I can put my foot down without yelling.
Right. That's yeah. I agree. I definitely agree with that last part. We don't see very many examples of what you just said. We actually, in fact, see a little bit of the opposite. What did they have a good relationship growing up? You your parents?
I would say that my dad loved my mom. But their relationship was like any other hood relationship. It went through its ups and downs. And then they were together on and off for so many years. Sometimes he had other women, sometimes she had other men, but they stayed together all the way up until I was about 17. Unfortunately, it's because of a woman in my family. He got deported, and
Uh,
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry because every time I talk about it, I got a little nervous smile, but I get very, very, very emotional because not being his biological father, I could not fight for him the way I wanted to
yeah.
with him being in another country, and that to this day it bothers me.
What kind of what kind of obstacles did they face, or more than likely him, to have him, go out and just need a break for a while? Like, what were they going through at that time? Because we know that couples do go through that. But what's interesting though, it used to be a time where people just stayed together for the kids' sake. Was he going through anything, or was she going through anything that caused the divide?
Uh, I would say on the outside looking in, both of them had a hand in it. Because I saw both of them engaging in activities outside of the relationship, I
Yeah.
didn't want to put the blame on one or the other.
Mm,
But I know my dad was severely affected because he drank a lot, especially when she would leave.
mm,
So just a little background about my mom. I love her to death. She's an amazing woman. She's very strong. To be from where we're from and to fight and be in a position of abusing my dad and then come out of it and change, totally do a 360, change her whole life. I think she is the example of what women need to know, that you can make a conscious choice to just be reckless with your energy or not. And she did do that to my dad, but then she stopped, changed her life, and now she's softer. So my dad had to kind of be the punching bag at the time,
mm,
with emotional abuse, physical abuse. I watched my mom be a bodybuilder. So,
mm.
she had a rough life. She had all brothers. So that kind of played into her trying to fight for her space, even being a baby in the family.
Yeah.
So that showed up with her putting her hands on my dad. And I'm like, this is a hardworking man. I see this man get up 3 o'clock in the morning, he's out the house before 6. And then
Right.
he don't get back until 8. So for my dad to be hardworking and for her, to see her disappear, I mean, I'm not talking about days, I'm talking about months. She's disappearing a month or two, and he's
Right.
just taking care of two little girls the best way he know how. And then you come back and you show up every now and then and you put your hands on them. I didn't like that because it made me not respect her.
Damn. Damn. So this was physical more than verbal. A lot of times, like, because, and that's why I'm glad you're on the show to talk about something like this from the lens of the child, because we'll hear stories about how the man is, abusive to the mother, or verbally, or physically, but you never hear it in reverse, in the other way around, and you never hear it from the child's perspective, from the child's point of view. But you saying that your mom was abusing your dad.
on my birthday at one of the times, and this is not a one-time thing. This was multiple times. One time was literally on my birthday.
Mm,
On my birthday, at my birthday party that my dad had funded.
damn,
Yes. It was a very horrible experience to
damn,
know that. He just did his best to make sure we did not become a product of our environment,
right,
but she couldn't at that moment not express herself verbally
yeah.
or just leave. I would have preferred her to even just leave again instead of putting her hands on him.
How, as you grew older and you witnessed this as a how old were you when you witnessed it? Probably is the better question.
First time I probably was like about 8 years old.
Okay. And when you're witnessing this, what's your initial reaction to it? You know, what was your initial reaction?
I was scared because I never saw nothing like that before.
Yeah,
Um, but then after that, I would see her put her hands. She just had this thing of wanting to fight men. And the women that do that, I do not get it. I don't get it at all. That's something that me and her never even worked out in therapy because we had therapy, family therapy later.
yeah,
But again, I can only chalk it up to her wanting to stand in a position that she didn't feel like she had. But she don't see that it was hurting me so bad because I'm like, he would not fight back. No matter what she did, he would not fight back. He
damn,
would just like let it go, but then he would go into this drinking. And that's embarrassing because then he gotta still be around her family.
yeah,
He got to still be a dad to me and my sister. He got to still go to work. So I get why he used to drink a lot. And at first I used to think that he was taking that out on me. At first because he would yell sometimes, he'd just be drunk and he'll be like, "Don't be like your mother. Don't be a whore like her." But when you're 13, you don't know that he's trying to say to you in his pain,
yes.
"I don't want you to be like that. I can't let you be like that. I can't let you be like that." But it's showing up in a drunken rage.
So you would say, is it safe to say that's how he coped with the
Yes.
trauma? And
Yes.
yeah, so typically I'll give you a little bit because we're having a conversation. And again, for anybody watching, please like, comment, and subscribe, share this to people that you know. And I encourage anybody that has a story, whether it be personal, or from a distance that you've seen, just email me at nakasha1144 at gmail.com. So a lot of times with us brothers, men, period, we tend to fall into a vice when we're getting abused, right? And there's a notion that, okay, this guy, he's just an alcoholic. No one ever asks the question
Mm.
why he's drinking. Okay. Myself, a couple other brothers fell into something similar to that, but you're trying to drown your mind out from what's going on in the world and just escape for a second because life is so hellacious that this is the only joy and pleasure that you get. However, I'm not condoning any man or anybody to be an alcoholic, but that's what happens to us when we're not able to fight back. And I'm not talking about physically or anything like that. When you feel like kind of like almost like your hands are tied, you're like, hey, well, I just got to stick this out. I just need a drink to ease my mind. But a lot of times we then crawl inside of the bottle, and some people stay there, some people obviously get out. What kind of damage either physically did the abuse and the alcohol do to him, either physically or mentally?
I kind of could see why he would go into the arms of other women.
Yeah.
Um, on that note, I I could see it now. I couldn't see it then. I'm a little girl that's just protecting her dad. Like, who you? Like, I don't care. My mom ratchet, but who is you?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't want you here with my daddy. You just want his money. You just want
Mhm.
his money. That's all you want. So I feel like it hit his ego,
Mhm.
and that can show up physically. I don't think that ego is just mentally. I think it shows up physically because then he's trying to find, how do I feel like a man again? How do I feel wanted again? And that's where the women is coming in.
Yes.
The drinking is for the coping to say whatever's going on in his mind that
Right.
he's embarrassed about, that he feel trapped. It's just like an abusive woman, literally. He feel trapped. He's in a house with two little girls. He can't. One is his biological daughter. One he loves like his biological daughter. He don't want to give up on us. And
Right.
then he got to show up for work. Unfortunately, another layer is my mom did have a drug habit too,
Right.
on top of it. So she was fighting her own demons. She really was. And but the way he protected me was, even when he knew she would pop up and be like, if your mom steal your money again, you got school trips or whatever you want to go on. And he would literally tell me, put my money in my underwear so my mom won't steal it. Because when I used to put it under my pillow, he'll say, put it under your pillow, put it under my pillow. By the time I woke up, my money was gone.
Damn.
My money was gone.
Damn.
And he'll be like, well, put it in your underwear drawer. Put it in my underwear drawer. Put it in your sneakers. I put it in my sneakers. He literally had to make me, it tell me, put it on my body. That's crazy for him to even want to be comfortable to tell his child that, because he want to protect her.
Damn.
He's just trying to protect her on all levels.
Yeah. And this never stopped him from doing his job as a dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like from what you're saying, and well, let me ask the question before I put that in there. Did he ever stop being the protector?
Never, never. And I think that's why it hurts so bad that he's no longer here, and I couldn't fight for him the way I wanted to. And
Mm.
I kind of did. I did everything. I mean, I told my sister, look, this is how you get to the embassy. This is how much it costs. Like at one point, once he got deported, nobody knew where he was at. I found my father in a whole nother country from here. I found him in a shelter. And most shelters, they can't tell you anything. I know this because I used to work at one. They cannot tell you if you call. I bet you I have my father on that phone. I
Yeah.
bet you I did. I literally went on maps and zoomed in to the surrounding places so I can call around to make sure that that was actually a shelter, because it was like a house.
Right. Right.
And I finally got my dad. Just
It's all right. It's okay.
I was not ready for this conversation.
But I'm glad you're having it.
I wasn't ready for this one. Um,
What I
I
wanted,
was gonna fight for him the way he fought for me.
yeah,
I was gonna fight for him the way he fought for me, and I did. The only thing is that I couldn't get him here because I wasn't his biological daughter.
right,
And that hurts so bad that I'm like here, like telling my sister, here go the money. Here, like if I do anything else, I'm chewing the food for you. And for that not to happen, I felt so defeated. I felt like I let him down. I felt angry that I could not show up for my dad. Because even at that moment, I was still struggling having a relationship with my biological father.
right,
And I was just like in limbo, like later for you, biological dad, I need to focus on him.
right, right,
And to this day, I still don't have what I need from my biological dad. I'm 44 years old, longing for a relationship with my biological father. And I can tell you, it's not even 2% close to what this man has given me my whole life.
Damn. I want to say this to you because we had my first guest. Um, he was informing me that most men have the same advice as it pertains to younger brothers or people who had the child either stripped away from or you don't see the dad. Your kids are going to come and find you. They're going to come and find you. And what you did was nothing short of an act of heroism. Like you went to great lengths to find this brother to help him to try to save him, and that is such a great uh it's a great feat. You are an amazing daughter, and I hope that today other children are inspired to look deeper past devices and go, what is it that my dad is actually struggling with? What's actually going on? And how could I go save him? How could I go help? It's not to negate the mom. This is not one of these type of woman bashing. This is not the case, but we're talking about saving someone,
Yeah.
and helping, genuinely helping. We are a nation of people that pride ourselves on helping everybody else.
Hmm.
But when it's knocking on your front door, what are you going to do? Are you going to answer and do something about it, or are you going to ignore it? And you not only opened the damn door, you went to great lengths to make sure that you could give this man the thing that he gave you in return. And that is one hell of a thing to do. That's an act of love that I don't think I've ever seen for real. So
I'm just happy that he heard my voice. He knew that I was fighting for him before he took his last breath. Even though I wasn't there and I couldn't get him here, he know that no matter what, I was gonna show up. I was the one, his first love, his first baby was the one that's like, all right, hold on, Dad. Let me call my sister. I mean, calling cars go. I didn't care how much it was gonna cost.
yeah,
I would have sold my right arm and eyeball
yeah,
for him.
yeah. Do you ever talk to your dad about your mom's behavior?
After the fact, after the fact, before he got deported,
Yeah.
West Indian men are so nonchalant.
Yeah.
He's just like, the gal is all right. He'd just leave her alone. She all right.
Yeah.
And no matter what, he would never talk bad about her unless he was like drunk. But even then, it was respectful. It was just more so like, I don't want you to be like this. I don't want you to be what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But he never bashed her ever. He always kept letting me and my sister know that he loved her,
Damn.
that he loved her.
Jesus Christ. I was gonna ask the question is it was gonna say I was gonna ask you what do you think motivated your dad to deal with this on a day to day? And I think I kind of just got the answer, because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter kind of like for us, and I'm glad you expressed that because that is a feeling that brothers have. It's like, and we're prone to taking this type of abuse. We're prone to it, right? So it's like it don't even matter. You can do whatever you want. I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna be here, and that speaks to a greater sacrifice that men provide. We are willing to take whatever you're gonna throw at us, but at the end of the day, we're going. These kids need us together. You need me here. So give me the best you got. What do you think was the trigger for her to become like that? Because we see a lot of that now. today in relationships now? Like, what do you not even if on your mom's sake, what do you think triggers women to do things like this?
I think the same way with my mom. I think they're just fighting to be seen and heard in
Yeah.
the most irresponsible, toxic way. And they have to be able to choose to be open to learn another way. Not, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I was raised. That's just what I saw. I'm a product of the most awful environment.
Right.
Awful.
Right.
And my children, the men that experienced me, whether I was dating them or had babies with them, married them, didn't marry them, they all see the same person because I actively chose to say it got to be another way. It got to be another way.
I I know that there is a woman who is watching this that is begging me to ask you this question, right? Because I could almost hear it. Okay, where do you
Let me drink my water. This is
yeah.
not vodka, it's icy water. Icy water.
No, it's all right. I got you. Okay. The signs, that your mom displayed, do any of those or did any of those rub off on you as it pertains to your relationships? Or were you able to be like, I'm definitely not going to be that. I'm not that.
Both, honestly. In my earlier years, I didn't respect men's feelings at all because I thought that was power
Mm,
to be a woman, use what my dad taught me about being soft, but then dismissive the way she was. Like, you think I care about your feelings? And
right.
I could just be diabolical in such a soft way. It's like, am I the guy? I mean, am I the girl and you the guy? I didn't like that. I didn't like that until somebody came and told me, like, you know what, you why do you do that?
Right.
And I questioned. I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, this isn't right because I really did not care about another human being's feelings. Forget the gender part. Let's just forget the gender part.
Mm,
I really didn't care about another person's feelings. And had I been in that position, I would have felt the same way. And that was a light bulb for me because I did like the person. I did not want that person to know that I liked them. So I'm struggling to be soft, but then be hard at the same time.
yeah. What that I'm glad you brought that part up because we experience a lot of that in relationships today. I think it's more prevalent now that the softer appearance is gone, and now this feeling of wanting to be me and play my role has ushered itself into our relationships. Can you speak to younger women and maybe give them the advice why that isn't the right choice and the right decision or right mentality to have?
Because of my dad. My dad was like, you deserve the world, but a lady is soft.
Mm,
And you're supposed to have, this is gonna sound bad, but he said you're supposed to have all the things that you want and all the things that you need. And if a man can't give you 10 times more than what your dad give you, he ain't the man for you. You need to have maids and chefs. Like,
mm.
this man had me and my sister in mink coats at 8 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
He's having us like literally, and I get it from him coming from Guyana. He lived a very poor life. So when he came here and he worked, he was given that to us. So I feel like my dad was like, you can ask for what you want without being hard. And if you do it the right way, a man will show up and you won't even have to ask. You
That's
won't
true.
have to ask. He will just do it. And when he do it, do not tear him down.
Right.
Do not. Let him be the man, you be the woman. And if you have to pick it up, don't use that against him.
Mm,
If something happened, stuff fall on hard. I never saw my dad fall on hard times, but he mentally prepped me that if it was to ever happen, do not dangle that over the man's head. Oh, well, I did this when you was like that. Because now you just took away his manhood. You just show up, be soft, be strong. And then when he gets back right, then you sit back down. You sit back down on your throne.
mm, damn. Yeah, he gave you the princess treatment, which is he's not wrong. Because when you said I don't want to sound bad, but that's not wrong at all. That's what we do for the daughters. The sons are a little bit different because we train them and raise them to be warriors. But the daughter, because you are the example of the guy she's at some point in time going to be with, as far as like the dating part of it. So you always want to give a good example of how a man treats a woman. You know, there's a saying that a daughter's first love is of her father, from her father, or of her father.
Mhm.
You believe that?
I totally believe that because I'm glad he left me with some good memories when he was drunk. So me and my sister, he would get paid, and we had a pool table in our basement, and he'll get off work, or it'll be a day that he don't have to work. He'll tell us, "Come on, come to the basement,"
Mhm.
and then he'll play his music, teach us pool or poker, and then we'll have our little shot glasses. We have tea, but he have liquor, and then he'll teach us how to play poker and stuff like that. Just like little stuff to just spend time because he know he been working forever, and then he'll give us little things. It was always something that was really little but really big,
Mhm.
you know?
Damn. The society that we live in, with all of this anger and rage and revenge, um, I wanna ask a question to you. This question was posed to me from a brother that I know, and I said, "Listen, I got a sister coming on." It's like, oh, everybody was excited when I said that because it's like, oh yeah, we get to hear now the different perspective, what I mean, as to why. Like, why is it that we go through these things? What's the point, right? But you're giving the tone and the lens from the child perspective, but so you witnessed this growing up, and I'm sure there are some kids out there that actually still do see these things. So my question probably would be is what does a healthy what does a healthy relationship and family structure look like?
I had to create that myself. I did not know
Mm,
what that looked like. Again, with both parents
right.
stepping out on each other, I'm like, that's confusing to be a kid to say, okay, you love her, but you won't leave her. She leaves, but she really don't leave.
Right.
When y'all do get together, sometimes it's good, but y'all will not leave each other. That is not healthy at all. And then throw my boy cousins on top of it because we all grew up together. So I might as well say my first cousins are like my brothers.
Yeah.
They didn't lead healthy relationships. They only taught me what they know. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be with all of these women, but you don't let nobody treat you like that.
Mm,
You don't let nobody treat you like that. But this is how a man will treat you if you let them, you know? So when it comes to healthy relationships, I had to create that for myself. Because even my biological father, I'm the only one that is black. None of the other, I'm one of seven.
mm,
I'm the only one that's black. And I was a mystery child. It was like, even though actually my mom and dad, my biological dad and mom were married, when he was in Puerto Rico, it was like, do she exist? Do she not exist? I was like, it felt like I was a love child, but I was really bred from a marriage. So I'm like, even you guys are not, because he got kids all over the place. So where do I get this example of a healthy relationship. And I'm like, well, I don't see none. So I'm going to have to be that.
Right.
I'm going to have to be the example for a healthy relationship. And that's why I did not want to display the things that I saw my mom do, or even even my cousins. I didn't want to play with anybody's emotions. I didn't want to put my hands on nobody or let them put their hands on me. I had to create the environment for my children.
So now you did say that you have a son and he's the oldest, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we as men, and that's why I said I'm glad you're on, because now we could kind of pick your brain a little bit as far as getting a different response that we're normally used to getting. And you're a solid sister. You have a great head on your shoulders, great mind. You're focused, and you're amazing. So we hear about how men should be vetting the women that we're with
Oh
and
yeah.
getting to
Oh yeah.
know them better, but people are subject to change. Are there any warning signs that men should look out for that would avoid us going to this avenue, this dark side that we tend to go to? Like what would you tell your son? Because you have a son, what advice would you tell him to watch out for as it pertains to dating?
I actually did. I started with him 7 to 8 years old. And you know
Man.
that you see how those things show up in your life. Um, it does show up in a way that you take good or bad with you, and it comes out in your normal life, and then it comes out to your children. So with him at 7 and 8, I'm like, I know you starting to notice the girls. And actually, let me back up. No, it started when he was probably about 5, because they would tell him how cute he is. And I said, you know what you do? You grab a lady's hand, you kiss her hand, say, thank you, you're beautiful. I wanted him to.
That's old school. That's old school.
Yes, I did. I gave him a
Yeah.
little bit of what my grandpa gave me too. So I
Yeah.
gave him some things to be suave and not aggressive or pushy or nothing like that. So I did want him to create the space that fast forward, if he had to have a family, he
Hmm.
would know how to navigate a woman and her feelings. And even when I wasn't at my best, all three of my children, I would tell them if I yelled at them the wrong way, it's mommy just stressed. I'm dealing with this or I'm dealing with that. I gave them just enough, not putting all my personal adult problems on my children, but giving them enough to say, this is what you need to know that's happening in your environment and mommy's environment. And you don't have to do anything or anything like that. Just know that I'm not gonna push you away. I'm not gonna not show up for you. But
Yeah.
sometimes I need space. So I want you to start taking space for yourself too,
Hmm.
because you're gonna need to do that later when you're in a relationship. You're gonna love somebody, and that don't mean suffocate them. You're gonna have to take your personal space. So I dated my children. Everybody got a date with mommy, and then Justice got a date with mommy, Mira got a date with mommy, Zaire got a date with mommy. And then that taught them to just step back and say, well, we all had her. This is their personal date. So when I dated my oldest, I'm like, okay, this is how you treat a woman. He opened the door. We had like conversations. And this is all the way, like I said, up until high school.
Yeah.
He learned how to deal with the woman, even if she's not at her best. But
Yeah.
then I had to listen to him too.
Yeah.
A lot of, I don't think people know how to listen, let alone um, women listening to men. I think it starts where you just listen, period. But then you'll be able to listen to your man if you listen to your children too.
I know you said you were on a panel somewhat similar to this, and as it pertains to listening, that is something that we yearn for because all day we're listening to you and no one really hears us. No one really
Mhm.
listens to us. And especially when it has something to do with the child. Why is the child used as this kind of prop to get revenge? Like, what's the point? Like, what is it? Is it to? Well, I know it's probably to hurt
I
us.
don't see a point.
Hmm.
I don't see a point. I have that
Yeah.
question too. Honestly, I, when I said I wanted to listen to my son, I prepped him for that so that he can learn that yes, a woman can listen to you.
Mm,
You don't have to be grown for that to happen. So when you do get grown, you'll be able to explain to this woman, listen, I'm used to a woman listening to me and not just listening to me talk, actually giving me the freedom to speak.
mm,
And even if we disagree, you agree to disagree.
mm.
Weaponizing children, I don't see the point. It's an ego thing because now you're more worried about yourself and less worried about the child
Yeah.
and the child's father and their relationship that's outside of you.
Right.
Because now that the relationship didn't work out, unfortunately, it don't matter who did what. It doesn't even matter. When you're at this point and you're like, now we got a co-parent, it's not your job to make him pay by holding the child back. You are hurting the child because they don't actively see why they can't see their father, but they feel the absence of the father. So now you think you weaponizing this against the man, but you're hurting your child. And this is a choice because you don't want to get out your ego and say, it ain't about us. I don't even got to like you. We don't even got to talk. I will get a third party to let you see this child because I can't stand your face.
Yeah.
I can't stand the sight of you. So there's always a way to work something out, and you don't have to weaponize the child.
Right. Because the child is the one. Like I said, I've said this before, and I always say, and I think we know, at some point that there's no benefit to doing it because the child is the one that loses out. You
Mhm.
know, like you say, you used a very, very heavy word, which is weaponized. It's like, how do I use this kid to hurt this man?
Mhm.
Let me ask you this, from a woman's perspective, is it just like she just loves the guy still and just is having a hard time getting over that and really wants a reason to hate him but can't? Is that a part of it too?
That could be one, and it
Yeah.
could just be more so of I want I want him to hurt
Mm.
because I'm hurt. I want him to be angry because I'm angry. And they don't know how to transmute their own energy for something constructive. So they use it in thinking that they're asserting some kind of power over another human being when you're
Mhm.
not. You're not asserting power over that other person. You're hurting the family,
Yeah.
whether you're under the same roof or not. You are hurting this child. You
Mm.
are confusing the child, all because you don't know how to get control of your emotions. And if you still love the guy, I love you. I know you don't love me, but it is what it is. So here, let's figure out how we're gonna make space for both of us to do what we need to do as parents. You don't like me, I don't like you, fine, we don't like each other. Let's put a third party in the middle. It does not have to be child support. Third party does not have to be child support. If there's no aunties and uncles, best friends. I used to have my daughter ride from down south up back to New Jersey with my best friend. She like, I'm going to Jersey, I'm going to Philly.
Right.
Here, drop her off. There's ways. There's ways. So these women have to take responsibility for their actions.
Damn.
Actually, these little girls, because that's not a woman. A woman knows how to conduct herself, and she know how to keep her emotions in check and still take care of business.
Mm.
A little girl don't know how to do that. They know how to throw temper tantrums and create chaos, thinking it's going to get them what they want, and it's the opposite effect.
How did you cope with the feelings and the memories over the years of what you experienced as a child? Like, how did you cope with that?
Hmm. It took a lot of. I always got to bring it back to my dad. I promise you. I know I don't want to sound weird, but he put so much in me. I cannot not credit him for
Hmm.
even my coping skills because I'm like, he taught me how to meditate. He taught me how to not just pray, be quiet, listen for
Hmm.
God. And you can do that when it's so much going on in your life. I think that's why he was strong enough to stay too. I really do. I think that's why he was strong enough to stay because he, in the times that I saw him go away, he probably was meditating. So meditation was one of them, and just therapy was another. I know us brown folks don't like therapy, but it's very, very, very much helpful. When you get the right therapist, you got to get one that looks like you, because if they don't look like you, they don't understand your problems.
Yeah.
They're not going to possibly understand it. Um, I was fortunate to have someone that don't look like me teach me about psychology at 19. So that was another coping mechanism where I had different resources available to help me cope. But if I didn't, I still would have found them. I still would have because just knowing that they're around,
Mhm.
I would have had to take the responsibility to go find the options.
Right. Right. So I got two more things for you, but first I want to say you have been an absolute joy to sit and talk to for this time that we had together. I really do appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story, not even from the perspective of a woman, but from the lens of the child in the house. And you gave a lot tonight, and I really do appreciate that. I'm sure the viewers do too. And it was an honor speaking with you and hearing a different side of the story that we never actually heard before. I was looking up some statistics before we went on, and verbal and physical abuse is very prevalent towards men. And this is something that we need to highlight, and this is something that we need to talk about, but more so than that, to remedy and fix. This is not a joke. And if you care about your people, if you care about people in general, then both sides need to be heard, to your point, as far as listening and hearing. If you're going to listen to mom's side of the story, and you need to hear dad's side of the story as well. And if you can't hear dad's side of the story, you definitely need to hear it from the child who witnessed it.
Mhm.
For you, I would say that just based off of hearing what you said, you knew that it played a role, a significant role, but you keep going back to the dad. Every time I would throw something at you, like, hey, listen, my dad instilled this and my dad instilled that. How important is it for children to have a dad in their life?
It's extremely important. Even with him not being here, I still reference him. Like
Right.
I talk to him every day. Like when I am in my meditative state, I'll say, good day to the loving creator of the universe. And Dad, I need you today.
Mhm.
So even with him not physically being here, I still give him all my love, all my attention. And that's only because of the importance of him and what he did in my life.
Yeah.
Regardless to my mom. I think if he got ripped away from me, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I
Right.
wouldn't even been able to speak on a panel beforehand where I had to address a gentleman getting physically abused and how it showed up in traumatic ways with his new bride. Like that, it very much carries on to all different parts of life, not just one.
Right.
That trauma is not in just one place. Oh, this woman put her hands on me. I gotta drink a bottle. It shows up in so many different other ways. And for a man not being able to be heard, being able to even speak about it, that you're literally tying his hands behind his back and muting his mouth.
Yeah.
He just gotta sit
Right.
in this experience because it's not even an emotion, it's an experience, and he's fighting against his manhood, everything that makes him a man. He got to hold on to that and try and anchor to that the best way possible with no outlet. So my dad is gonna be, he's extremely important to me until the day that I have to meet him again in the spiritual realm. He's gonna always be important to me. He's important to me, and my biological father is still living, and I still feel more for my dad.
Yeah. You mentioned something earlier about like little girls, right? You mentioned that. I'm gonna call them younger sisters, obviously, but I know the little girl title is a thing that exists.
Mentality, little
Yeah,
girl mentality.
yes, the little girl mentality. Before we close out, what advice would you give to younger sisters with the little girl mentality that you wish either you've gotten and learned later, or just in general about their relationships with the men that they're with? What advice would you give them?
I'm gonna give some props to my mom for it. You got to be a strong, you got to be a strong woman to go through her own trauma,
Hmm.
drug addiction, having to live with hurting a man that she loves, fighting, physically fighting men, and then actively cleaning her life up, not just the drugs, I mean, inside and out, and saying, I choose peace. I choose to be soft and not want to try to take the lead or try to take control or try to make a man less than. She made a conscious choice to put her guard down. And I think that was her apology to the universe for all that she had done to people. So I would say take accountability for your actions. Then you will become a woman. When you can take accountability for your actions, that don't mean wallow in it. That don't mean do the self-pity thing where I used to or help me. It doesn't mean that. It just means making a conscious choice
Right,
and then showing that in your actions.
right.
If that means getting help, therapy, talking to a best friend, I don't really know about the whole. There's resources. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna point towards that resource. But there's resources like therapy and other spiritual, providers that's around, and then get the tools that you need. But once you got your tools, change. I don't care if you've been yelling at this man for the last 10 years. Stop and build a bridge so that you can co-parent the easiest way that you can with that man. And then both of y'all nervous systems will be calm, and then you will raise a beautiful child.
Right. So, lastly, before we go, and I'm gonna get to that bottle very, very shortly. But we do a segment on here called "The Letter in the Bottle," where if you had something to say to the person or people that we're referring to in this particular interview, uh, that being your dad, you write on the letter and you hope it reaches him. I typically give the speaker the floor so they can have that time to do that. What will be something that you would say to your dad right now, given all of the things that you've seen him going through, the things that he carried you through, the leadership he instilled in you, that dark side, that path that you saw? If he was here right now, what is something that you would want to say to him? And I'll give you the floor.
I would say, Dear Daddy, I hope I made you proud. I really wanted to make you proud, and I hope that I did. I got my maids. I did get my maids. And I will forever carry every moment that we shared with me, good or bad, good or bad. And I will remember you and I will honor you. And I hope that you knew that you were loved extremely, tremendously by a little girl that you did not have to take in. You didn't. So I'm very grateful for him showing up for me and giving me way more than what money can buy. I would tell my dad that.
Damn, that's that's beautiful. That is beautiful. You are you are a good daughter and an even better woman for coming on here, giving the people your time and your experience and your story and hardship. And this is just part one because I want you on again. I definitely want you on again because we talked before this, obviously, and you have, even if it's not on this topic, I would want to just sit down and talk to you again about, some other things that will benefit our people because they need it. They need to hear it. They need to hear it. But I
Yeah.
want to thank you, Lavita Labad. That's not a joke. That's her name for
Yes.
for coming on here, giving your story, and disgracing us tonight. Disgracing
Thank
us tonight.
you.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, I gotta do
Yes,
this.
tell me what you think.
I'm about to now. I'm a bit of a crucial critic.
Yes, I know. That's why, that's why I want your constructive criticism.
I got you. I'm definitely gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you my constructive criticism on it. Now I'm not particularly a vodka guy, at least not anymore, because
I
I'm old.
get that.
Because I'm older now, right? In my 20s, had you created this,
You're seasoned. You're
yeah,
seasoned.
I'm seasoned. I'm smarter now. You know what I'm saying? I'm more laid back. I'm more laid back. When did you create this? When did this come out? Like a couple years ago, right?
Um, Officially, I would say 2022.
Hmm.
It was in the works 2021. Went through a lot of hands, creatively.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw on the website, she grew up. It's funny because one of my interviews I did for Raina, they had the original bottle and they like, Raina done went to college, got a job, she grew up, she robbing.
Because you said the original logo. Yeah, I know. I don't want you to give it to
No,
yourself.
it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. But I did a interview with some spirits connoisseurs, this um Met and Met and Pete. They actually
Mhm.
YouTubers, honestly. And they have a collection of Black owned spirits.
Yeah,
So
nice.
when they grace me with their presence and let me know, oh, we know who Raina is. She did some changes. I was very honored.
Yeah,
I was very honored
yeah,
that they saw her go from her ghetto style to
yeah.
nice and elegant. So
Yes. So I'm gonna sample this vodka. All right. If you want to get into more of the social media, you want to follow Levita, you want to purchase one of these bottles. They're only in exclusive locations because it is very exclusive. It's out here in Atlanta, Georgia for sure. But I'll leave the QR code on the screen. You scan it, takes you right to her page. You can hit her up, support the cause, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, without further ado, before we get up out of here,
are you taking a shot straight up?
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta taste her naked. That sounds bad, but you
Yeah,
gotta taste her naked and then you mix
yeah.
and you'll see the difference.
Okay. Favorite sound in the whole world. All right.
And
All right.
she smell good. You could
Yep.
smell and
Okay.
taste both fruits.
Okay. Well, let me get a whiff of it inside of the cup. It's been a long time since I drank vodka. Oh, hold on.
Nice.
Oh, fellas, she smells amazing. Let's see how she tastes, right? Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, that's yeah, hold up.
Not the kind of vodka that'll have your breath smelling like vodka.
Oh.
I see your face.
Oh. It burns so good, Labad. Hold up.
It's nice and she nice and smooth. She got a little kick, but she nice and smooth.
All right, so let me give y'all what's going on right now. So there's a burn here, it's going, but the taste of it is peach. Is this peach?
Peach
Yeah.
mango.
Yeah, this is peach mango. You definitely get the peach mango, but it's not overbearing to such a degree where you're like, oh, this is too sweet. But you get a lot of the vodka in it, but that's not overbearing. It's almost like a perfect blend. It's like a perfectly mixed drink inside of a bottle. I've never had nothing like
Hmm.
that before.
Hmm. Hmm.
So first you get the strength of it, you get that initial kick, like you said, but then
Hmm.
that back end, you're getting the peach and the mango, which is amazing. This tastes really good.
And she get a little dangerous. I gave her to a football player in Texas,
Yeah,
and he was like, I done had 6 cups. Like, what's going on? I
yeah,
said, don't worry about it. No hangovers. I said, what do you have to do tomorrow? He said, I got practice. I said, all right, hit me up tomorrow. Let me know how you feel. He told me he went out on the field like nothing ever happened. But
uh-huh,
the whole night he kept his buzz. He
yeah,
was just going. He was like, this is nice. Kept his buzz, never got a hangover. Very smooth.
yeah. This is very nice. And I
Be
again,
careful, you can get through that bottle in a day.
I ain't gonna
I've
do the
seen
hell.
people do
Well, yeah,
it.
I'm saying that I'm sitting here going, nah, I'm not, but
And then
you never know. I might. It's really good though. It's a hold on. Let me wait. Hold on. Oh
very nice. What do you have to mix? What do you have to mix?
no, I drink it straight.
So my mentor, yeah, shout out to Sakari Spirits. Please support. She's in more states than I am.
Mhm.
Definitely highly in Atlanta. So Sakari Spirits. It's so ironic that she started pairing her whiskey sour. I know it sounds crazy. Her whiskey sour with my peach mango, and it's like what do they call Arnold Palmer?
Yeah, Arnold
It's
Palmer.
very. You got to try
Okay.
it.
This is really good. It is really delicious. It has such a an attractive flavor to it. It's not overbearing. It's not like if somebody told me that this was vodka, I'd be like, man, get out my face. This ain't no damn vodka. You know what I mean? Because
Like a blind, right?
yeah, like vodka usually has a very harsh kind of like punch you in the nose type of taste. This here is like Like I could literally drink this all night and I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? This is
Hmm.
really good.
Hmm. And now you can see how you can cook with it. You can make like a baked ziti or a peach cobbler. You can make it a dessert vodka. You can
Yeah.
cook it and it won't cook the alcohol off. It
Right.
still sits in there. Like the way you can do a rum cake, it's
Hmm.
that kind of feel.
Damn, that's really good. That's really good. But I want to thank you for not only being on the show, but providing me with this bottle that I'm definitely going to get through tonight.
You'll be fine for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm gonna hit you up like, hey, yo, Vita, yo, I'm straight. I'm good to go.
Yeah, no nausea, no nothing. You be ready to rock and roll.
I appreciate it. So tell the people where they can find you and tell them how they could contact you, where to look for you, what's going on, what you got going on.
Well, Raina does have a TikTok page. Forgive me that I don't handle my TikTok. I think it's Raina XO underscore vodka. There is an Instagram page.
Mhm.
You can find me if you need to get me directly. It's Labad Lifestyle. That's my handle on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yeah, you can find her all over there. That's good.
Yes, that's why it says Labad Lifestyle because it's my last name and my lifestyle.
I know. I know. Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on. I look forward to talking to you again pretty soon. I am Nakashawan Yashala, and it's been a dark side of fatherhood. Take care. Good night.
Thank you.